Okay, so because I made a couple of videos where I was playing Dark Cloud 2. Um, I finally just finished it. I haven't done chapter 8 yet, but I don't think I'm going to right now because um Dark Cloud was way better than Dark Cloud 2 for so many reasons I don't even know where to start. Okay, yes, there was things to improve on in Dark Cloud 1, but I don't know if you can say they really improved on them in Dark Cloud 2. I mean, there was technicalities of how you play the game in Dark Cloud 2 that drove me absolutely, utterly insane. When you lock onto a monster, for instance, and there's no way to unlock from the monster, so you're like locked on them unless you can manage to somehow back away from them, because all you can do is back away, because when you lock onto a monster, that means you don't turn your back on them. You're like locked on and you move super slowly because you're like inching away while you're like blocking yourself. And there's no way to unblock from them. And then the experience and money that you pick up from defeating a monster, if you don't pick it up fast enough, it all vanishes, so you don't get it. After all that hard work you did to get it, you don't even get it because there was another monster in the way or something. Or then when you can play Spheda, this thing pops up, do you want to go to where the Spheda is? And if you accidentally hit yes, which I did at one point, it takes you away from the experience that you haven't had a chance to pick up yet. All of those things drove me utterly insane. And then there's like, when you're in the dungeon, you can't swivel your camera to see what's going on. The only way you can swivel your camera to see what's over there is to hit the 0, the O, I guess it's a circle, to hit the circle so that you lock on to any monsters that are nearby when that's not even what you wanted to do. You just wanted to turn around so you could see what's behind you or beside you, because something's hitting you and you don't know where it is, or just because you want to see what's over there and you didn't know there was a monster, and now there is a monster, and now you're locked onto it when you didn't want to be locked onto it. You just wanted to turn around. There's no way to swivel the camera when you're in a dungeon, because that's your blocking, and when you're Monica, you can block and attack and use magic and hit and whatever. So there's all those technicalities of it that are like horrible. And then there's the whole, it is way too easy to die in this flippin' game. I can't remember in the other video, the longer one that I did where I was just playing it and I commented on a few things, I can't remember if I mentioned the fact that Dark Cloud 1 is very ADHD friendly. It's a very relaxing game for someone that has ADHD. It's like near perfect in that regard. Whereas Dark Cloud 2, not so much. It is way too flippin' easy to die, and every time you die, you have to remember what on earth you've already done and what you haven't, because they've got too many things happening at the same time, especially at the beginning. There is an overwhelming overflow of information at the beginning. Once you played the game once, or once you're certain ways into it and you're used to these things, it can be fun, but, excuse me, you get like an incredible amount of paint, and there's barely anything you can actually paint with it. The whole taking picture thing, I had so many pictures taken, and then I missed a few, and I gave up, because, like, in the long run, what does taking pictures even do? You're supposed to be able to invent things with them. Everything that I came across that's like, oh, here's an idea, this might be able to, like, help you invent something. Literally all of them. There was, like, 1 or 2 things that I was missing. I had so many photographs, and yet I was always missing the one that I needed. Okay, the bombs that I could make and the bread, those were useful things that I could end up making. By the time I could actually use the boots, because I wanted to upgrade the attack power, by the time I could actually make the boots, I didn't need to, because now I could go and just buy the attack crystal thingies. So it's like, by the time you actually can do the things that are supposed to be able to help you, you don't even need them, because there's something better around anyway. So, like, there's more to do with the inventing. I'd have to, like, play this game. Next time I play the game through, I'll have to, like, look more into that and find out what there is that I could do with that. But it's, like, really, it's a side thing. And there's the whole fishing thing. Yes, the fishing thing was fun, but again, it's a total side thing. And yes, there's this Spheda thing, which I could not for the life of me figure out. I looked up ways to try to do it. I could not figure it out. It was just frustrating me to the nth degree. So I gave up pretty much right off the bat. I'm like, just forget it. Just no. It's like some people absolutely love that, and that was their favorite side thing. But again, another total side thing. In the long run, inventing things, fishing, and playing Spheda, they're nothing but a complete distraction from the game. They give you minor helps, and in a few tiny little places, there's something that has to be done with it. But for the most part, And then we get to the whole actual storyline of Dark Cloud 2. Oh, I don't even want to get into it. Oh, is it ever dumb, and oh, is it ever so full of horrendous teaching. Horrible, so dead wrong. Blech. I kept doing that all through the game. I couldn't help it. Like, oh my gosh. Speaking of forgiving, and one of the ways that you're not doing it right, when it's like, oh, he has a sob story. Oh, nothing he did was wrong because he had a sob story that justified it all. So like, oh, let's cry over the fact that he's dying, even though 2 seconds ago it was us that was trying to kill him because of what he's done. Like, the one guy is like, he literally killed Monica's father. And yet as soon as she finds out that he has a sob story, I was just trying to protect my mother too, you know. I had such a hard life. She goes, oh, Gaspard. When he dies, and I'm like, oh. Excuse after excuse after excuse, absolutely, just, don't get me started. The story is horrendous in this one. Horrible story. And then there's the whole ending of it, as if the story itself wasn't bad enough. Then it ends like that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That ending made me mad. It's this happy ending for the bad guy. Happy ending because he's somehow redeemed. And yet, for the actual main good guy characters, oh yeah, we'll all be happy in our own time. Spoilers. Because 2 eras can't coexist. So, literally, the 2 most important people to Max, aside from his dad, because his dad's with him, but his mother and Monica, yeah, spoilers, they go back to the future. So, like, we're all happy because we'll never forget each other. I did not like Dark Cloud 2. There were many things within Dark Cloud 2 that were like, yeah, and it was fun to play it, but Dark Cloud was way better. Not saying Dark Cloud was perfect. There were things to improve in that one. Things I wish they could have done better. I wish it just didn't. Things about it that felt like there wasn't quite enough. But at the same time, if you'd added much more to it, it would have. And the ending thing in Dark Cloud 2. Those stairs, are you kidding me? I had to go through a fight with the bad guy. He keeps getting interrupted with memories. So I'm like, all of a sudden thrown back into the fight when I wasn't expecting it and all the rest of this stuff. And so there was like, that fight took forever. And then all of a sudden you're thrown into the real bad guy showing up. The evil that's with... Anyway. And then all of a sudden you're going up this long staircase with some bad guys interspersed. You don't get to save it anywhere. So if you get killed at any of that point, you're going to have to go through all of this all over again. And then you reach the top, and I'm like, if they don't let me save it before no, they don't let you save it before the very final of the final boss. So you better be prepared, because there's a big, long, interrupted battle with Gaspard to begin with. And if you manage to make it through that, then there was, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 bad guys that they just throw at you on the stages while you're going up this staircase. You know, at least in Final Fantasy VII, when you're going up the staircase that never ends, it is absolutely hilarious because every 2 seconds the characters are going, what the crap is happening here? So the characters know this is dumb. Then it's like, yeah, let's all just laugh at this hilarious joke because this is insane. In this one, it's like, no. Sometimes I'm watching dramas and I'm like, This thing is 40 episodes long when it should have been 30 at most. As I was running up the stairs, I made that comment, and then I'm like, you know what? This is more like a 50 episode drama that should have been 30 episodes. Where is the end? We're going up and 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 going up. And there's nothing. There's nothing. And we're just going and going and going. And then even after that, it felt like it was going and going and going because you beat the bad guy. And he's talking and talking and blah ha haing. And then the other guy comes out. Cyrus comes out and does this big long thing and everything is dramatic. I can't stand half the voices in this thing either. Half of them, the way they talk, just irritated me to pieces. The over dramatized. And the way they say it, the script was not very well written in so many places. It wasn't well written and then it wasn't well acted. The emphasis was all wrong. The way they were saying things. Like I say, I just have so many complaints, I didn't even know where to start. Even though I'm now like 11 minutes in, so clearly I started somewhere. Just so you know. It's very interesting. On one hand, there's some fun things about it. A lot of fun things about it on one hand. On the other hand, it failed on so many ways. If I had to pick one and the other vanished from the world, it would definitely be Dark Cloud 1. It appears online that tons of other people disagree, that they all think that Dark Cloud 2 was way better. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. For so many reasons. Dark Cloud 1, there were many things about the story too, like it was really dumb and bring her back to life. You can't bring people... Okay, so there was dumb things about that. However, I related to the characters in Dark Cloud 1 and the whole wrap-up of the story, and like you felt like there was a point and a purpose, and in this one it's just like, maybe it was all just a dream after all. Maybe there never have been 2 moons. Maybe it was all just a dream from the ancients to warn us. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop there. I just had to get my thoughts out, because rant and rave, and now I'm gonna move on to another game. And it's probably gonna have just as dumb of a story. Because as much as I love some of these games, and it's all the same people making these games. So, just like in many like Asian dramas from all the different countries, they have these themes that run through them, and you're like, So, that's my final thoughts on Dark Cloud 2. Go ahead and play it, because there was plenty that was fun about it, but just so you're warned. Bye.